Architectural entourage is made by mapping a photo onto a plane. This is an illusion that will break down if you ever view the plane on edge. For example, right here the tree looks good because we're viewing it face on. But as we orbit, you'll see that the tree starts to appear more squished until eventually the illusion becomes paper thin. Therefore, it's important to protect the illusion, and I can offer you a couple of strategies for doing that. The first strategy involves rotating the entourage plane so that it always faces the camera. And you can do this for all the entourage in your scene. To demonstrate this, we need a camera. Activate the front viewport and create a free camera in the middle of the viewport. Then move that camera in the top viewport backwards so that the camera can view the plane that we've made. Activate the front viewport and look through the camera lens by typing C. At this point, moving and rotating the camera bears no relationship to the entourage. It's possible to view the entourage edge on if we move the camera and rotate it appropriately. I'd like to change that so that the entourage plane is always oriented towards the camera. Select the plane, go to the Animation menu under Rotation Controllers, and select Orientation Constraint. Notice that there's a rubber band connecting your cursor with the plane. Click on the camera to make that constraint. Now, you'll notice that moving the camera does not affect the entourage, but rotating it will. Now, as I rotate the camera, observe that the tree remains facing the camera. This will protect the illusion. And this is appropriate in a walkthrough animation, for example. I'll come over here into the perspective viewport, and let's take a look at this relationship. So you can imagine that in a walkthrough, this would look just fine. However, the limitation comes about if you ever need to view the entourage from a different level. Say we're on the second floor and we're looking down into an atrium where we see this tree. I'll go into the camera viewport and look down by using this tool. You can also rotate the camera. I'll use the local reference coordinate system to do that here in the viewport. And I can just rotate it directly. And you can see the problem, and that is the plane is now rotating backwards so that it looks like the tree is tilting back. And this is going to blow the illusion for you. Imagine if you did a flyover. All of the entourage would lay flat on the ground, and that would ruin the illusion. So clearly we need a different strategy for a situation like this. On the Motion tab, you can find the rotation list rollout, and that's visible when you select the plane. There are two controllers here, the original Euler controller and the new orientation constraint controller. I'll delete that, and the tree will go back to its original behavior. it's no longer connected to the camera. But now, if I'm looking through the camera, the tree looks like it's edge on, and that won't be acceptable either. So in this second strategy, what you can do is select the plane, turn on angle snap, and clone it. I'm going to rotate that 60 degrees and make 2 instances. Now I have 3 intersecting planes. So in the camera viewport, it looks pretty good. That's because one of these planes is more or less facing the camera. Of course, this technique wouldn't work if you were making a person or an automobile as your piece of entourage, but it does work with many trees. It's important that the trunk of the tree is centered within the plane so that when you rotate the planes, the trunks line up. You'll have a management problem with your entourage now because it's 3 separate objects. I recommend that you select one of the objects and collapse it, and then attach the other planes to the mesh so that you can manage your entourage as a single object.